Hi guys, welcome back to another Ghost Reacts, and today we're reacting to another video, and that video we are reacting to today is another Sternio Triplets podcast known as Cut the Cameras. Now I know I said I wasn't doing any other videos, but I have had some comments saying that I should still react to the ones for the parents, which is the last episode. So I'm about to react to that one right now because it is the one that I originally wanted to see anyway, so I'm gonna start watching that right now. It is an hour and 15 minutes long, so we all know what we're getting into today. Let's all sit down, let's all get prepared for this an hour and 15 minute video. Let's get straight to it.
Campers, welcome back to the Cut the Camera podcast. It's your favorite hosts, Nick Cerniolo, Matt, and Chris, and we're in obscure seats that you've never seen because our parents are here.
Yay! Mama Bear's back. We've got to find a name for the dad as well.
All right, guys. So that one's
give him a little
working
nickname.
Yeah. We're gonna jump right into it.
Okay.
Wait, hold on.
I didn't answer the question.
Yeah, go ahead. How do you feel to be here?
I asked.
I'm very happy to be here.
A lot where a question gets asked and then sometimes people just don't answer it.
Yeah, I feel like Matt.
Yeah.
Because I notice he gets interrupted a lot.
Yeah, he does.
I don't like
Matt
that.
gets interrupted because he talks as if he's bleeding out. It's the last words he's gonna ever say. He's just like, and so it's really difficult. It's easy to interrupt someone who's talking like a mouse.
I love Matt.
I love Matt. That's good, guys.
I love Matt.
Do you like our studio?
Oh, I love it.
Are you at all upset that it's decorated for Christmas and you wanted to see like the not Christmas version, or is the Christmas version okay?
No, I think the Christmas version is virgin.
Looks nice.
That would be Mary.
The subtle stuff, but it's nice.
It's fine.
Oh, this is
The snow, the gnomes, the snow gnomes.
It's snow, Dad.
No.
They're not.
All it is snow in like packages.
Yeah, that's it.
No, it looks really good. I remember when you guys were having this built.
Yeah.
And to come here and see it, it's pretty incredible.
Feels like it was yesterday, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
You're so weird, Chris.
No, that's how I feel. I feel like just yesterday we were building this. Now it's like, what, 4 months in or something?
Well, we were here a year
4
ago.
months in.
Is this the
25th episode? Well, it might not be the 25th. It's the 25th one we're filming. Could
Okay.
be around that area.
Might move them around a
Yeah,
little,
like
little
50.
shuffle.
Might shuffle them
first.
about.
50 episodes.
Oh, God.
I have
Let's
no
not
idea.
jump the gun here. We're on number 25. So, finding out you were having triplets.
Oh, wow.
We're going
You're
to start
going
all the way at
right
the beginning.
to it.
We're going to get right to it. We're going to start at the beginning.
Oh, we're actually getting
Triplet
into it, like
children.
proper into it.
How'd you find out? What was your experience like?
Okay. Pretty shocking. Went to get an ultrasound to look into some possible complications. Thought I was having one baby, and turns out I was having 3.
Wow.
So they were just like,
Yeah, they were pretty shocked too. They kept asking me how this happened, and
How is she gonna know?
Wow.
you're like,
Oh yeah, it could have
just
been
was-
like in vitro.
yeah, they kept asking me if I did in vitro, and we had not. It was just a natural
You
thing,
don't choose to
and,
have triplets. What are you
I was
talking
there
about?
alone. I told Dad, "You don't even have to go. I don't
Such-
think it's
why are they
gonna be
asking her that
anything
question?
viable." I wasn't anticipating that we were having
you
a
weren't
successful.
anticipating such big news.
I was not anticipating big news. I was anticipating bad news and was prepared for that.
Oh.
Yeah.
So to get the complete opposite, I told this story just recently to someone. I literally felt like they were talking to someone else in the room, but there was no one else in the room. It was just me. And they were really good about it. They were really fun about it. The nurses all came in and started clapping, and I was just like,
I feel like that's like
in shock.
Like, yeah, that was nice of them, but that'd be like the last thing I want. Like if they were like, "Oh, you're having triplet kids. Let's bring in the parade of nurses and doctors to come congratulate
Yeah,
you."
like it's enough
here's
to hear that.
Yeah,
It's like
here's everybody in the hospital to come walk in the room and intrude on your moment.
I think it spoke to me about how incredible the news was.
Yeah.
Like even at a hospital, for them to be like,
damn. Like,
whoa, this lady's got triplets, and then
and I bet you there's still people waiting in the waiting room. And you're hogging every single.
Oh, for sure. I held it up the day went. Nobody got seen after that.
Yeah, that's
They all went out and partied to
So then you
celebrate.
went home, and how'd you tell Dad?
Well, I called Dad first
Yeah.
from the garage as I was leaving.
Yeah.
Told him everything was okay.
the garage.
The
that-
garage at the hospital.
They said the garage. I'm like, what is that?
No, the garage.
Yeah.
Called him, said everything's good, and he was like, "Is everything good? Like we're having a baby?" And I said, "Yep, we're having a baby. I'll tell you some more when I get home." Drove home pretty much in shock. Wanted to
What were
just
you like guessing, Dad, in your head? Like, cause did you think Mom was like sus? Like she was like, what?
No,
what
I
is she
think
not
she
telling
said
me?
that it went well and that we were gonna have a child, and I was like happy. And then
But did you
Not
feel
the news
Did
I
you
really-
feel like she was hiding something or no? You just were like, oh.
no, I thought it was just she was pregnant with one child.
Yeah.
And then when she told me, like she
more.
gave me a diagram, and the diagram was like
ultrasound,
Diagram.
like an ultrasound, like a diagram.
Well, it was like a piece of paper and it said A, B, C, and I'm like, so that means everything's fine. And then it was like,
Yeah, Dad didn't know that ABC meant baby.
Three
A,
separate.
baby.
He
A.
thought there was
I
a-
thought
I
it was
wouldn't
just
either.
like one whole
some
thing.
pregnancy term.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like
And
your
then
ABC.
She goes, no,
is
3. And I'm
looking
like-
good.
And then she goes, 3 babies, and I was like stunned.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane. So did you feel prepared to have 3 kids?
Not at all.
Like there was no like, you can't feel.
You can't
prepared
prepare
that.
for
No, not
children
at all.
anyway.
I think I just kept thinking it wasn't really going to happen.
Yeah.
Like I thought I would wake up from a dream or
Yeah. You're like, we'll deal with this in 7 months.
Yeah.
It's a
Like,
lot.
yeah.
Oh, I mean, you don't actually feel like no experience at all. I'm not gonna take it from people who are parents, but I feel like you don't feel like a parent until your kids are there, if you get what I mean, and you're actually looking after them, and you don't really know exactly what to do until you're in the actual situation doing it yourself. So that's just how I feel. If you have any other comments, please let me know in the comments below, obviously, or opinions, should I say. But let's continue.
Pretty much 8 months because you guys, well, 7.5 months, but you guys were early. Obviously, a lot of triplets come early.
Not enough room for 3
Thank
kids.
God you were all good and healthy and
Yeah, like the episode we talked about it before. They said a lot can go wrong. And,
Yeah.
and then until a few weeks, like a month goes by, then it's like this is happening.
Yeah. Damn.
Wow.
I just
Must be
never
quite
knew
dangerous.
anyone that had triplets. So to me,
Must be quite
I just
scary.
couldn't understand how I got picked for this special
Journey of how many
Journey.
people did you know that had triplets?
Zero.
Until you had triplets?
Zero.
How about you, Dad? Did you know any triplets?
No, I knew like twins, but not triplets.
So you're a twin.
Right. But
So-
they, you know what it is?
First-hand
yourself.
experience.
When we went to follow-up doctor's appointments, they always asked, what type of in vitro did you guys do? And, like, a lot of even nurses and doctors were surprised because they don't see a lot of, like, spontaneous triplets where you don't have any assistance getting, like, pregnant
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, that's insane.
Wow.
Holy shit.
I didn't know
That's
that.
what I said. Holy shit.
3
Yep.
kids. I don't think. Yeah, I wouldn't have been able to handle that information.
It's actually surprising
At
to
all.
actually know.
Yeah, I had a lot of support. I think a lot of people that
And to
we
find
told
out.
were just as shocked. But along the journey, we were just incredibly lucky, blessed, fortunate, whatever word you want to use. And you guys just continue to amaze us. So
Yes.
the blessings just
It was like a
continue.
sideshow everywhere we went. It was pretty funny. Like restaurants and stuff, people would look
Yeah,
at
that's
us.
me and Nick wrote
Yeah.
that down on our list
Yeah.
of things to bring up. Like, what's like the craziest thing out in public? Like you guys experience, like having like a triple decker fucking baby stroller,
That,
and
yeah.
like what? Like, do you guys recall memories where like you just felt like you're being like looked at, or like people were just
all
like,
the
"Oh my
time. It was
God."
all the
All
time.
the time.
That's crazy.
Because
All
you
the
get
time.
3 babies and everyone's looking at you like, oh, they must be triplets. And it's like,
Yeah. Well, think
they
about
look
like
alike.
your excitement. Like even we were at the bowling alley the other day, and there was a cute baby, and Mom was like excited to see the cute baby. And then imagine 3
3
babies
at
like all at
once.
once. Like people get excited when they're in public, and there's just one baby.
And you were
When it's
dressed
3,
alike
it's
for like a short amount of time, but not like over
Yeah.
the top, like when you're in school and
Yeah,
stuff.
we knew way too many twins at school that would like come to school in like opposing stripes. Like one of them was in like red and green, the other one was in like green and red.
Yeah, no,
All right, let's.
no. If you guys had the same clothes, it was because someone gave us a gift.
Yeah.
Like we wouldn't
Yeah, the
go out
corny
and
stuff.
buy 3 of the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I needed to get more clothes out of it. If you all had the same, then how could I switch it around, right?
Yeah.
You did a good job making our outfits. I see our outfits of when we were little, and I'm like, all right.
We had better style when Mom dressed us as like kids than we do now. There's-
I agree.
Yeah, we had really great little outfits.
Of course,
And,
she's
like,
gonna
little
agree.
Yeah,
outfits and
you
stuff.
guys dress good, but people gave a lot of gifts too. It's it's exciting to dress 3 little babies, and
Yes.
and then we had Justin always behind the stroller trying to help me push it, and he was
Yeah, Justin was awesome.
trying to be really
Perfectly
strong
tall
and
enough.
push it and help me out a lot.
So like looking, what was Justin's reaction? Like who told him he was gonna have 3 brothers? Like and how did that come about?
Do you remember, Jimmy?
No, he was. No, not really. I think he was just on board, and
just
like
thought
we
it was
just
gonna
kept
be a
telling
party.
him, "Oh, you're gonna have some brothers
Brother.
coming on," and he's just so happy
Because he was
he's ready.
6. So
Or
that's 7?
7 when we were born.
Yeah, but like when he was probably told.
Right. He was just excited. He wanted a brother or a sister or baby brother. And then to say 3, I mean, he was like, cool, now I have more.
Well, he was
people to
probably
play with.
happiest when you guys started walking around
Yeah.
and like
Yeah, we
talking
could
to
actually
yourself.
do
when
stuff
you're like
together.
actually like
Yeah.
laying in the bed.
And they're just a thought. He's like, okay, just tell me what happened.
Yeah. And he's like when they can talk to me and we can do something together,
Right.
I'll join the
Right.
Yeah,
conversation.
exactly.
Yeah, like when they can do my Legos with me, then we'll have a
Yeah.
conversation. a follow-up
Exactly.
conversation.
Like, I'm not changing any diapers, so just
Once it's done, then it's done.
Yeah, you guys were taking up a lot of my time. So I'm sure he was probably like, when are these guys going to grow up,
Yeah.
change their own diapers?
Looking back on the day we were born from
Definitely.
like now, could you have predicted at all what it was like raising triplets and another kid? Just like 4 kids at once and 3 of them being triplets. Like could you have predicted what like growing up would be like as triplets for us? Like did you feel like I'm trying to think of how to word the question better. Like
I'm confused.
it was literally
How?
one day at a time. That's how you had to. You couldn't even look ahead at all.
yeah.
Like there was times when like to just say I wanted to just sit with Chris and hold
Yeah.
him. Like it was just almost like impossible to have downtime with. Like it was always something like going on at the time.
Yeah.
Just putting out fires all the time.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I just think as a mom, I got really worried that I wouldn't have enough time for each and every one of you.
Yeah.
One of my favorite memories was like I would hold arms, right? And then I would put one in the bouncy seat and I would use my feet.
It's like you're
And I'd
playing
be
the
like,
drums.
right, and I'd be like, yeah, and bounce you all and be like, hi, just trying to give you all attention.
insane.
I thought that I would never, ever, ever have free time again.
Aw.
Like I thought my whole life for the
You probably
rest
do
of my
feel
life
like that,
would
though.
be taking care of
'Cause of
you
the amount
guys.
of
Yeah.
time you don't
Obviously,
have.
Those are just
all
feelings
gone.
of emotions and overwhelming.
Especially with
overwhelmingness.
triplets.
But I just hoped that we both hoped that you'd always be friends.
Mm-hmm.
I pictured that you would always get along, which was a big ask, right? And you
Especially
do.
when somebody's got a personality like Nick's in the group.
Yeah.
Right, I didn't anticipate that because keep in mind, Nick was not always this grouchy.
No, I'm grouchy now.
Nick was like my sidekick.
Person.
I mean,
yes.
Nick and I were really, really inseparable, I have
Yeah.
to say.
It was like it was great because I feel like growing up with you, Dad, and
So
Justin.
Nick used to be
it
a
was kinda
mama's
like
boy.
Each of us had a
Used to
perfect
be.
match. Like
He's not anymore.
Matt would always do the most with Dad. I felt
Yes.
like me and you always did the most together, and then Chris would always do the most with Justin.
I
so it was
agree.
like we each had like a supervisor, I guess.
Special
Supervisor.
person.
Yes.
I mean, we changed it up, but
For
I
sure.
mean, yeah, it was definitely. But I just had hoped that you would always get along and stay close to home. That was how I pictured it because
Yeah.
that's how I was raised. We just pretty much stayed close to home.
Yeah.
It's pretty much every
So,
parent's hope.
Did that answer the
I think.
question?
Yes.
Yeah, that answered the question.
What was like-
I was confused by the question.
What was like
Thank
your
you, man.
biggest fear after having triplets? Like what could have been the worst case
Oh
scenario
gosh,
after
that's
we were
an
born
intense
already?
question.
Like
I
we're
mean,
already here and arrived. To be like, oh, worst fear.
that's every parent's worst fear is that something bad will happen to their child.
Yeah.
That
Health. As long
Health.
as you're healthy, it's just
help. I mean,
that's all you can hope for. You know.
that started with Justin and it never went away.
Yeah.
Like, But I feel like I'm not even talking about it with enough respect because each parent, that is their biggest fear, right?
Yeah.
That something would happen to their
Again,
child.
I don't know.
Did you
Just
guys
just
recall,
speculation,
any
but
memories of like when we were out in public?
Definitely
or anything
feel
where
that
you, like,
that would
misplaced
actually
the
be
triplet,
the
like because you
thing.
just had so much going on.
Every
like,
parent's
I remember, like,
nightmare.
when I was in Target with Justin, when I was like 8,
Yeah.
and I like ran down the aisle, whatever. Like when us three were like little and irresponsible. What was it like to like bring us to stores or like a restaurant? Like how on 10 did you have to be to like make sure we were all in line
Really
and around?
Yeah.
Like, do you have any memories of like one of us like walking away and like you like being like, where is my other child for a second? Like,
I never lost a child. Mom did more stuff with you, like in stores and stuff. 'Cause
Yeah.
Yeah, the
work
stores
and
were the
stuff,
hardest.
and, like,
Yeah.
Because you would want
I
to
can
go
see
look
that.
at something and I'd be like, start walking, and then I might be like, oh, shoot.
yeah. If mom and I were together, really no issues.
Yeah.
It's just like if mom was alone with you guys and like,
yeah, it's 3 against 1.
oh, Matt got away, or Chris got away,
But I would bring grandma. Grandma's was always with
Yeah.
me. So
because
it was
grandma's
just a-
on top of it all.
Oh yeah.
I just remember
Grandma's on top of everything.
I just remember we used to like make it so much harder because one of our favorite things to do as kids was hide from you. Like,
Yeah.
Oh.
like
I vividly remember I was gonna say this story yesterday. Like when we were at the beach in the Cape and we were all swimming in the ocean, and then I got out of the water and didn't tell anyone and ran back to the playground in the car and grabbed my towel, and I was just drying off like 40 feet behind you guys.
Where's
And then you guys all were looking
I
at the ocean.
remember that.
I don't remember.
And you guys
That was
thought
at a
and
public beach.
and
I remember
And then I
that.
saw you guys like all
In a-
realized that I was gone and like
Panic.
saw you all start to panic, and I was like, I'm over here. You guys thought I was
I
like
do
100
not
feet
remember that at all.
I remember that.
I remember seeing all of you and Justin looking for me for
I
a
have no
second.
clue.
Yeah,
That's
I don't remember that at
craziness.
all.
I
That's
remember
probably
just
repressed-
hiding
a
in, like,
repressed
coat
memory
racks
for
every
them
single time
too.
we go to
Oh,
For the ones that
that's
can't
correct.
remember, it'll be a
Remember
repressed
that,
memory.
Jump out at strangers. I remember one of our favorite games to play, like walking outside with mom, would be like to running to like the nearest tree and hiding behind it and trying to scare. Even though you knew we were behind, but you'd see us
Yeah.
go hide. It'd be like the one time where I was like, oh, maybe she doesn't know where I am, because I'd like try to make a distraction or something.
Yeah, no, you guys never really tricked me. But
I know.
sorry.
We should have done
Yeah,
better.
you
You should've
pretended
done
well
better.
though. I thought I did up until this moment. I'm heartbroken right
Sorry.
now.
I'm devastated. that my
Like
tricks didn't
devastating
pull
news.
off.
Yeah, Chris was a magician for a period of time. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the beach was definitely the hardest part because I can't swim, as you all know. And so if you wanted to go into the water, Dad would need to be there.
Yeah, or like
Because-
pools and stuff.
I'm
That's-
sorry?
Yeah.
Or pools and stuff.
Oh, pools,
That's all
forget
my
it.
favorite memories of when we were in freaking what's it called, Vermont,
Yeah.
and I was swimming with my head down with my floaties, and Dad thought I was drowning. Remember that? I was swimming with
Did you
floaties
jump?
on.
Is that when he jumped
and
in?
he jumped in fully clothed with your phone and wallet.
Your head was down.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was
but-
swimming with floaties on
Oh
with
my
my
God.
head like this, and
Yeah.
Dad thought I was.
Come on, he's
drowning
gotta do it.
myself.
Come on.
He jumped in.
You did
What else
jump
would he
in.
think
I
about?
remember that.
I could see myself jumping in.
Yeah.
I kind of like. I don't really.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
That
the
was
water is what would be the most scary for me.
That's so funny. Well, because it's just off limits to you for helping.
Totally off
Because
limits.
then if one of us are drowning,
Yeah, 'cause the thing is,
either
Sorry.
drown too. Or
my bad. Yeah.
Sorry,
I'd
boys.
always look for one of those
Dad ain't here. I'm
floaty
sorry.
things at the
Oh,
pool
yeah, yeah.
so I could
Can't swim.
throw it at you.
Grab that.
You like it?
If you jumped in to save us, you'd essentially drown yourself.
Absolutely. There'd be no point.
Yeah, no point. Damn.
I might try, but
I feel like you could figure out how to swim.
if you were drowning, maybe.
Just like I feel like you got under any circumstance.
Swimming isn't that hard.
No.
You don't
should
think
know.
so?
No.
You have zero hope, Dad? In mom
Zero.
swimming?
Mom's not swimming.
Wow. You've
Well-
tried to learn.
No, too much fear. I've taken swimming lessons. I've done it all, but I've just too much fear at this point.
Yeah. You're never gonna drown. It takes so much to
I always tell
drown.
Mom if she goes to a pool, like a 3-foot, 4-foot pool, just try to swim with your feet off the ground. You know,
It takes almost more
As an
effort
adult,
to
it's
drown than it does to swim. That's insane. That's true.
I'm going to believe you on
Well,
that
no,
and
not if it's-
not test it.
If you're in deep water for X amount of time.
Okay, yeah. Like if
I
you're
know
in
what
like
you're saying.
if you're in water with no escape for
Right.
hours. Yeah.
Let's
Then
respect
there's no-
the water.
If you're in a pool, okay, Poseidon. If you're in a pool,
Well, that's why I'm
you can
called
just sit
knee-deep.
there.
Need-
Yeah, nothing beat when Mom fell out of the rowboat and thought she was drowning, and she just all she had to do was stand up to get out of the
2
water.
feet.
Right. That,
That was pretty fun.
okay.
What's
Next
like
question.
what's like the craziest?
She's getting
What's
embarrassed.
like the craziest gadgets you guys had like made or had because there was 3 of us? Like triple decker stroller, or like what are like the most ridiculous? Where do you even buy a triple decker stroller?
We actually got that from another triplet family.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
Donation.
that was a really cool thing. It was like a donation because I became part of an organization, and the word gets out when you're triplets and you kind of find each other.
We made
like,
the news. We made it big.
yeah, we made it big time.
Prego.
Peg Parego or something.
Parego or something.
Prego, yeah.
Parade.
That causes a lot of attention driving, steering one of those down
Yeah,
the street.
one of the 3 people's stroller's crazy. But like what beyond that? Like were there like a triple bottle feeder or something crazy? I doubt it.
Wow, you should have warned me that you were going to make me think about all this. I would have pulled out the baby books.
You guys didn't. I feel like there
It
was
was
so
just
much.
everything. I mean, like baby bottles, right? I was constantly washing baby bottles. Like, you know, those little yellow hoodie things that you wore at the beach. Like we had to buy 3 of them, and you look like
blankets.
3 little duckies. And then, like everything was in 3s. But
You can't really plan too much either. You
Did you ever get,
kind of
like-
get a plan going into the day, but it could be out the window as soon as you get
Did you ever have like a baby?
I like how
like,
laid back the
holder
dad
thing,
is.
like the
yeah, I
backpacks
did.
and stuff?
I did. I tried that too. I tried to be a hip mom. I have one picture with one of you on the thing, but
And that's it.
that was it.
No.
Yeah. I feel like also having a child on you is like way more obstructing to the other 2.
Right.
Like you can't
Right,
do
because
much.
I couldn't.
You just need extra pair of hands.
It was
around.
people.
Yeah.
We had people with us all
we
the
need to
time.
get a lot
Lots
of
of
help.
friends and such.
Yeah.
Always had friends with me, you know. I mean, Tina was always with us, and she would be an extra hand. And like I said, Grandma, everyone, Maria, Helen, I would grab anyone. I'd grab complete strangers. Like,
Yeah, like, hey, grab him. It's
Hey,
like
just
running
take my
away.
kid.
I remember being in a pizza place once, and like one of the things that always happened to me is I would think that another grown adult was one of you guys.
oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember hugging some guy in like a shirt at like a pizza place,
thought it was
and I
me.
thought it was Dad. And I was like, and he was like holding my head and like pushing me away, and I was like, Dad, why won't you hug me? And I'm like yelling at this guy, and
Yeah.
it's not Dad. And then he looks up, and it's
Oh
no, nothing beats one time I backpedaled into a pole and thought it was Dad. I was at like a restaurant, and there was like a big pole at this thing, and I was like walking, and I like went to lean on the pole, and I turned around and about to hug this pole, thinking it was Dad, and it was a pole. And nothing beat when Dad ordered from a trash can at McDonald's.
Yeah,
Oh
that
my
was
God.
good.
It always
That was
reminds
too
me of
funny.
that.
Yeah.
The trash with like the extra spout because it was
Yeah, and he
Do you
pulled
remember
her.
that?
Yep.
I just
That was
did it
so
to make
funny.
you guys laugh.
No way.
Of course you
What
did.
are your favorite memories from like hobbies or sports that we had as kids? Like when we like first started. Like,
I'll let you go, Jimmy.
No, I
'cause
think
feel like I'm
hockey
talking
was
a lot.
the one that was kind of like
Oh,
you
his
guys
name's
weren't
Jimmy.
really
Ooh.
crazy, like big. So
Yeah.
I always felt like the hockey was like a little nerve wracking when you guys went into the corners and stuff.
yeah.
Matt
I was burying kids.
Matt was an animal in hockey, I remember.
Yeah.
Like he would just get, to a point where he was just getting madder and madder, and then Matt would just snap, and then I'd look over and he's in the penalty box because he just like.
I took out a lot of my early frustration in hockey.
Yeah.
For
Oh my
sure.
God.
I would get a penalty every game.
I was burying kids, like absolutely.
Burying
kids. Like,
Right.
like
No,
illegal in
he-
the sport of hockey.
But I never
like,
played
for sure.
hockey, so I didn't know the game. Like I knew the game, but I didn't really skate. When I was younger, you guys got into hockey because Justin played hockey.
Yeah.
But sports was always great. I always wanted you guys to continue.
What about
to
when
like,
you guys took us to like free skate and Nick was
quit.
just not
Oh.
having it?
Oh,
And he
that
would-
was funny.
Yeah.
That's my favorite video of me ever. It's like
Oh
it's
my
like
Learn
a
to skate.
glimpse of me now as a kid.
See what I mean?
Like,
You get the
every
juicy
time
little
the
bits.
Camera panned over.
Love
Nick was
this.
sitting on the milk crate like so
my God.
mad, like humming his glove.
We have to find that video.
Right, and then
I remember there was a video. I think Justin was recording from the bleachers during free skate, skate, and he recorded me like while I'm getting off the ice. He's like, "Oh, Nick's quitting right now. You can see him."
He
And
was
it's
so
like me like
mad.
angrily skating, and I couldn't skate well, so it took me like 10 minutes to get.
Yeah, and then
position.
I remember that really clearly because you started taking, and I was like, Nikki, what's wrong, honey? And you're
I
like,
threw a glove.
"Ah," and then you took your gloves off, and he's throwing his gloves off. I think he's done.
I
And
think
you-
after that day, until I played hockey again when we were in like 7th grade or 6th grade, after that day at free skate, I did not touch anything to do with hockey for like 6 years. Like that was the biggest grudge I held as a kid.
yeah, you.
Yeah.
I never tried hockey again for like even dad. Like you were like our baseball coach too a lot of years. Like how'd you separate like favoritism to your kids on the team?
Well, I got into it because of Justin.
Yeah.
And I got in because I didn't want Justin to not play because
Yeah.
he might not have. But Justin held his own.
Yeah.
I just was
Nice.
there.
Lovely.
And then it felt like I was a little league coach forever
Yeah.
because as soon as Justin went through little league, then you guys were going through, and I was like, wow, I'm like a 12-year coach here.
you need like a citizenship.
Oh my
like
God, I got a plaque for like being there.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
Yeah, you did.
hilarious.
yeah.
Just talking about it really gives me warm feelings in my heart because I felt pretty special, like being there, and people would be like, "Oh, there's the mom of the triplets," and
Yeah.
like hockey games, baseball games, people would notice that there would be 3 Sternio
Same last names. Yeah.
and people would be like,
Yeah, that was funny with hockey with your names on the back.
Yeah.
All his Sternio.
Yeah,
That was
like
funny.
people would just think the same kids. Like, because
That kid
I remember.
skated by me in this.
No, I remember getting like penalties in sports, and
And
it
it
was
wasn't
Matt.
good.
Like
Yeah.
Matt would hit someone, and they'd blow the whistle, be like, "Oh, Cerniolo in the penalty box," and they'd grab me.
right, and we would all laugh in the stands because we knew.
Yeah,
And then I got to hit somebody else, and then again another.
yeah. I
And I
remember.
remember Chris
Oh my
was the
God.
fastest in hot, like really
yeah, so
fast,
fast.
but he couldn't really like stop like really good at the beginning.
Yeah.
So he'd go all the way down the other end of the ice and like smash into the board.
That's how I would just stop. Is I need something in my way,
But
whether
Chris
it was a person
very,
or like
very
a board.
coordinated.
Oh my
So
God.
even if he wiped out, he'd get right back up like it never even happened. He
Yeah.
made it look so good.
I also remember. I remember Matt getting such crazy penalties when we were younger that like he would literally get a penalty that would require like 2 people punishment. Like the coach would have to pick another kid to also go with Matt.
Matt.
No, the one
It was
memory I
such a
have is
legal
when move in the game that like they were like, okay, penalty for that kid. And
Well, I
you
was
have
just
to
getting
take someone
bites
else
and shit, and
out.
I'd like poke my holes, and, like poke my fingers through their, like scratch their nose.
Yeah, you're
through
weird.
their-
No, the one memory I remember is like when we had that the tournaments every
Yeah.
year,
Yeah.
and we like it was like the end of the game, like it was literally 3rd period, like 30 seconds left, and Matt like buried some kid. He starts punching Matt, and then the ref dragged Matt by his jersey, and then we were supposed to get in line to like shake hands, and Matt like throws his helmet, throws his mouth guard, and was like, "See ya," and like skated off the ice.
Yeah, we had a lot. We had a really
Well, because
good
the ref
hockey
choked
community.
me. Once the ref touched me, I was like, yeah, I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah, there were a couple of times it was kind of like, oh boy,
Yeah.
this isn't good right now.
No, yeah.
But most of the time, you guys were.
I think I got suspended twice in hockey. Too.
Hockey's a different animal, though. You know,
They should just let the little kids punch each other.
I could have never.
No one's
played
gonna
hockey.
cause that much damage.
Yeah.
I would not. I'd want revenge right away, so I'd be spending the entire game in the penalty box.
No, me too.
Yeah.
Like,
And
you know what I mean?
did.
So
Yeah.
baseball and basketball, I didn't have those problems.
And then I had I think a lot of the reasons why I had a lot of penalties playing hockey is because I was defense, and the other person that was defense with, who was a girl, and she would always get like hit and buried.
Yeah, and you were
pushed
protecting
everything.
her.
And then I was
Yeah.
just like,
The same.
I was like, I had to do something.
Yeah,
so it was
yeah,
just like,
I remember when I nailed some girl on the other team because I thought it was like I didn't. I was just playing equal. I thought it was like
no, she was a big girl though. She was like,
yeah, and I checked her bad. So I was like, bro,
And everyone from the other team was like,
okay, got
dirty
her.
player.
Yeah, unpopular opinion
I
though.
didn't
Like
know.
if there's a sport where like checking is involved,
Can't
and like
be mad
you
that you
check the
check.
girl
You're
that's
out there,
playing,
you're
like
out
come
there.
on,
I know.
you're
Hey,
playing.
she's
girl.
out there.
Right.
She wants to play.
There's
Correct.
been a lot
You
of.
want to
news
play? You got to pay.
Exactly.
Yeah, correct. And that's coming from a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Want to
Right.
dance?
Damn right.
Dance.
put the dancing shoes on.
Put your
All right,
dancing
when-
shoes on.
At what growing up? What
no,
age?
It was good though.
When did you start to notice us being individuals and like having individual hobbies and interests? Because like when we were little kids and we were doing everything like
Yeah.
with you before school and stuff, it was difficult to like express individual activities because we were just doing everything together.
Right. I'll take that one first, Jimmy. Because I'm thinking at middle school, like theater. You did the
Oh God.
theater, and
Yeah.
your brothers didn't.
I only did that to be with my friend,
I know, but
it was a thing.
that was a thing.
Well, even sports, like me and Matt just played.
You and Matt
sports.
continued. Nick didn't really want to. You started being more brave and going to friend's house without your brothers.
Yeah.
Which was kind of different because up
Yeah.
until then you all three did things together.
Yeah.
I think Nick was the first one to really show his independence.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
That doesn't
This show
shock
is
me.
sponsored by BetterHelp. The holidays are a great time to give to others and a great time to give to yourself. So whether it's by starting therapy, going easier on yourself during the tough moments,
We show like individuality, and we're like talking about high school and middle
Doesn't
school.
shock me at all
Is like we didn't
that he
do
was the
anything
first
alone.
one to gain
No, it was.
independence.
It was-
Doesn't
it
shock
was
me at
not
all.
till
Like the
middle
three of us really
yeah.
did every single thing together for the
I
longest
just didn't
time.
do,
and we still do.
and then y'all
Do
started.
you guys regret not doing certain things in high school, like activities?
The only thing I regret about high school is going as much.
I
as
knew
did.
he was
Yeah.
going to say that.
Yeah.
Going?
Going
Yeah.
to high school.
I would have
Yeah,
just stayed
yeah.
home.
You can't
for a
regret that.
I wish I was more disrespectful. To
Message
I
out
agree.
there. No.
In hindsight, I wish I yelled at him.
Because
You
it's like
can't say
What
that.
I'm saying is like if a teacher was like I just don't like when I always say
go to the
I always feel bad talking shit about teachers because
No, teachers work really hard.
Teachers work really hard. You work in a school, right?
I'm not a teacher, but teachers work really
and it's
hard.
like I think of like there's some teachers out there that are really really great and really really awesome, but like I've never understood the authority of like adults deserve respect if it's not going both ways. Like if you're not showing your students respect, you can't expect it just
Yeah,
because you're
true.
the teacher. So
I
wish
agree with
pushed
that.
back more on that, and I would argue with every single teacher ever. I remember getting
Right.
sent to I've gotten like 3 substitute teachers fired from the school.
Okay.
Which
What
is
if
not
the
my
teachers got
it's not
together
my
and go,
proudest moment, but it's
I
like if
hope
you're
I
the
don't
worst.
get Nick.
No, probably a lot of the time.
It was just like I could not put up for teachers just like abusing their power of being a teacher.
Yeah.
And not,
yeah,
like-
I agree
Why-
with you,
yeah.
Nick, and I definitely agree that
Do you find most of the male teachers were like that?
more of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
For
more of the.
Yeah, my chemistry
Well, it's also
teacher.
like,
I'm
I
not
think-
gonna
I
name
think
names.
when-
My chemistry
Not
teacher,
over here in England. I get where he's coming from. Like it's just two different experiences. Over. I'm guessing from his experiences, as you just said, it's more of the males. From my personal experience over here, female teachers they go mad with power. Like really mad. Like one. I'm not gonna say her name, but my science teacher when I was in high school, our high school is completely different to their high school. I know that their school system is completely different. So my high school is before college, so it's gonna be like 13 and upwards, maybe even younger than that sometimes. But yeah, what science teacher again? Basically told me if I didn't pass science, I wasn't going to amount to anything. And then for the foreseeable future, she then put me in detention until the end of my high school year. That was like my final year. That was for year 11, which is the final year before you go off to over here college, because then I think the American college over there is our university, where we have to stay in dorms or get our own property and things like that. Our high school and college is completely different. It's completely different. But yeah, I just thought I'd just share a little experience that I've had of my own, considering that he's talking about teachers, so I thought I'd give my experience out as well. But yeah, some teachers just go mad with power. It's ridiculous.
was my least, probably my arguably one of my least favorite
Yeah.
humans to grace the earth.
I honestly
Worst person
think.
I've ever met.
I honestly think. I don't know if this is good to say, but
Just
I
say it.
honestly think women teachers are more patient.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
I agree.
Well, I think it's
But I
also
think
Meh.
a lot of like the mother instinct. Is
Right. No, 100%. Yes.
So it's like there's always.
Well, it's also like I just think it's like parenting is essentially just like you're I mean not parenting, teaching
Through
is
their
just
experience
like
maybe,
parenting
but
in a
again,
sense.
my
Like,
experience is
a lot of-
completely
you're
different.
just parenting a lot of kids, and it's like
if the teachers, there's two people, like the adults you learn from growing up are your real parents, and then
Right.
teachers in school. Like they literally go hand in hand. So
Right.
I feel like teachers don't understand that they're actually like impacting this child's life just as equivalently as their parents. You know what I mean? Like my life lessons
So
I've learned from
true,
adults
so
have been
true.
from teachers and my parents, and that's it.
And imagine what
So
some
it's like-
teachers like that teach young children, the stories they must have about
Yeah.
like the little kids. They say like everything. So a lot of the things that a kid that's going on in a kid's life, they find out through the mother finds out through the
the
teacher, or
school.
the parent
Yeah.
finds out through the
I
teacher.
just-
Hey, he's talking about like some stuff like maybe substance
Yeah.
abuse and
All
stuff
that.
like that.
For sure.
And then that raises some flags
Yeah.
for like the kid.
But I also just think of what makes me laugh is how easy it is to be like a kindergarten teacher. Like it takes more, or not easy, but it takes. I'm talking easy academic wise. It takes
you just
more
got
of
the
an effort.
ABCs
Yeah, it takes more of an effort
Well,
to
yeah,
be a good
obviously.
person, and like you need more about like psychological stuff of like knowing how kids function. Like it's more important to know about kids than it is the actual academic stuff as a kindergarten teacher.
Right.
But
That's
they
what I
can
meant.
tell a lot about the kid, like what's going on in the kid, just by little
things
What
happening.
seems like a little task to you being.
And that's why when I'm in
adult.
high school,
Like if a kid can't figure out the most basic little things, then it raises a flag to the teacher. Like
Right,
Yeah.
but social and emotional learning starts in kindergarten.
Yeah.
So a teacher has to be tuned in
Yeah.
to how a student learns.
Yeah. You know
And
what's
you're right,
crazy?
they're not doing trigonometry in
I never went.
kindergarten.
I never went to preschool or kindergarten. I started school in first grade.
There you go.
crazy. That's insane. What does that explain?
That
to you?
explains it.
What does that explain to you?
Just being fresh. I'm sorry.
What did that get for you?
I will say I vividly remember calling a lot of my teacher's mom growing up.
Yeah, by accident.
That happened to me a lot.
Like, oh, mom, and it's not your
I
mom.
was like, oh, you're not my mother.
That
I
sort of
hated
happens
school,
to
man.
nearly everyone, I
No,
feel.
it's just my chemistry teacher. I hated. I'm like trying to think of
It's a
like,
mistake
the
everyone
positives of
makes.
like learning and like all the experiences I've had. And I truly like. I think it's also like a mindset, and it's like a kid's gonna learn more if they want to be doing something, regardless of if they don't. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
I never
Totally
wanted to
agree.
be in school, and I would go into school in a negative light. And like even if the teacher, there were so many times they'd be like, "Oh, do you get it?" And I'd be like, "No," just because I didn't want to. I fully
Right.
got what was going on. I just wanted to be like.
See,
I
Well,
hated
you
that
wanted
shit.
to rebel.
I
because you
think
didn't
there
want to
should be
there.
more.
Because it gets to the point when like a teacher forces something so much, it's like, now guess what? I'll never even give you the light of day of even acknowledging the fact that I even considered learning that. Like I will intentionally not learn and be like, okay, what's up? You're a trash teacher. I can't learn anything.
Like here, what I think is there should be more like basic math classes than like other classes that you'll never use.
I agree.
So
I
if
said-
you're in school, they should teach you like basic life things that you're gonna do in your life
I
when you
agree.
get out of
I
school.
agree.
Balance a
Preach.
checkbook, how to do all this other
Preach.
stuff.
They
And
don't
one of the
teach that
things,
type of
like,
stuff,
if you're in a
balancing checkbooks
trade
and things like
in
that.
the
They don't teach
school,
that.
and you start learning electrical and all that stuff in like high school, that's a very good thing.
Yeah.
But if you're learning like stuff like, and I don't want to say like history's bad, but it's like I forgot a lot of the stuff I learned in
Preach.
history. And
Well, also, they teach you the wrong parts of
Exactly.
history. Like, every single history teacher
like,
teaches
how
you
is
like
this
what's
gonna
like
really
what you
help
have
me?
to learn textbook wise and leave so much stuff out.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is I argued with my junior and senior year math teacher more than anyone in the world, saying I'm not paying attention and I'm not doing this because it is I'm never going to use this. the
Exact-
second
oh my
I
God, I
graduate.
said those
And
exact
I
words.
never looked at any of the equations I've learned either one of those years ever again since
Well, it all comes down to simply like how the dynamic between the teacher and the students were, and if like you created a good relationship with your
Right,
students.
you
If
just
you
hit it.
create a relationship with your students, you could teach them anything, and they'd be willing to listen. It's
I
just a
agree.
matter of that. There was teachers that would like strictly be just like work, and not care about you, and then that's the teacher that you don't want to listen to.
Right. And just to kind of conclude and move on,
Yeah.
right? Because we're not here to bash the public school system. And I think it's really important, you know, as your mom, and I'm obviously always worried about what people think, right? Like, you don't want your message out there, especially with your audience, to be like school sucks. You know, screw your teachers, don't do this. That's
Yeah,
not the message
sure.
you want to convey, right? Because
Not at all.
clearly, although the three of you hated school, you were learning something, whether
Yeah.
you knew it or not. I mean,
Yeah.
you're three fine young gentlemen, and Dad and I did the best we could, but you were influenced by your teachers as well.
Yeah.
Those who respected you, those who built a relationship with you.
Yeah.
And that's when you said the word relationship. It's all about relationship.
Yeah.
And in today's world where things are so hard, you guys went to school during COVID, shut down. It was a hard time.
Mm-hmm.
People need to remember that you need to take care of people's heart first.
Yep.
And if you don't
Period,
take care of your heart, you're not going to learn. And that's why you were shutting those
I hate
people
it,
off.
yeah.
Right.
I also
So-
feel like going to school as a triplet and also having an older brother that priorly went to the school was like a whole thing, because it was like like being treated as like one human being was like, and then also getting compared to Nick and Matt. Like I always felt like stupid if I was like
if I had the same teacher as Chris and I like wasn't doing my homework,
and like if
right,
you be like, oh, your brother got like a B.
Yeah, no, that's not
okay,
okay.
fuck you, dude. Like you're a goofball. You know what I
Right.
mean?
That's not cool.
Yeah.
Ask another question.
Yes.
Yeah, no, one of my favorite things is like when
I know, fuck school.
when middle school teachers are like, that shit won't slide in high school, and it's like that shit in high school, it's like slide.
Okay, this
Like
part.
water park.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I feel like we're too deep now. We're getting
No,
too
no, we're
deep.
good.
Let's
You
let
knee
it
deep.
go.
Okay, these next two questions we might have to cut out, but answer as freely as you want, and don't
I don't
name
know them.
names. But without saying a name, did we have a friend that you did not like when we were growing up? Like a friend that you were like, oh, I hope they stop hanging out with them. And just
I-
don't say like their flat name, but like you can hint to us who it is.
I had a friend. No, you guys had a friend whose parent was a little bit more freeing with rules
Yeah.
than we were, and
She
I didn't
wouldn't
feel
like
you were
that.
supervised
No.
very well there.
She wouldn't like that.
So you really wanted to go a lot of times, and I didn't feel 100% comfortable.
Okay.
I understand that.
Dad.
I love all your friends. I
Okay,
really
now, but that's the segue. Like
no, I'm
growing
trying.
up.
I'm trying to picture who the wise guy was at the house that I'm like, Mom's thinking of. I can't really. I
It
don't
wasn't
know.
so much that the wise guy came to our house. They wanted to go to his house.
Yeah.
And you were like,
Yeah.
And I was like, well, okay, who's going to be there?
I think I
Mama
have a
bear
guess.
instinct started to kick in.
we'll guess after.
Yeah.
That's what
I
happened
don't
there.
think,
You had really good
Good
friends.
on her.
Yeah. Speaking of,
Yeah.
next question was gonna just be, which of our friends do you think like built, like, it was easy for us growing up, like your parents, like you guys understood like the individual, like having triplets and being like in, or having a life alongside triplets, whether it's a friendship or a parent or a brother, is a difficult task. So it's like you guys being our parents and Justin being our brother naturally started you guys off with like being in the position to have the ability to understand dynamic of like having triplets or being
Right.
around
We're
triplets
experts.
easily. So it's like, yes, exactly. So which friends do you think came into our life that were just like either great friends or you think adapted well to being friends with three different people that come in a group of three?
Yeah, I think most of your friends adapted really well. I mean, am I naming names here?
go for it. Pause,
Like
pause
Chloe was always
That's
a
what I
great
was gonna
friend.
say.
Chloe was,
I knew
you know,
Dad was going to say Chloe.
Chloe was awesome. I mean, you always had a lot of friends.
Yeah.
And think about if a friend comes over to our house, it's three more friends they have, and they're not going to someone's house where it's just like one friend.
Yeah.
So it's like they got to know each and every one of you, you know?
God, they had so many good friends.
Yeah, a
But
lot.
growing up, you had a lot of a lot
Yeah,
of your friends
yeah.
were girls.
I think I also like didn't really make them myself. I kind of let that be their
Yeah,
job.
Nick used to make a majority of our friends, and then we
Yeah.
would just like get along. Like me and Matt were so close growing up that like, because Nick always isolated himself.
I
from
don't
me
need to
and
say
Matt.
anything. You
So,
know
like,
exactly what
so
I'm
when
thinking.
Me and Matt would always get along very well, so we really feel like didn't feel the need to reach out to new friends. And then Nick kind of feeling like outside or like alone sometimes, I think made him like reach out to new friends. And then me and Matt just became friends with
Right.
whoever Nick was.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, because it was like Matt and Chris were hanging out with each other, and then they were
There's
hanging out with like
charmers.
the guys that like sports.
Couple of
and stuff.
charmers.
Right.
Those were not my interests. So it's like at school and like most of our friendships for plans we made. Like I would say even to this day, other than like LA, because LA's different and we're grown, but like all the friends we've made that were in Boston were just like mostly from me. Yeah,
I'd
for
agree.
sure.
yeah, like
Some level. Even
You
Nathan,
became
I was
friends-
on Nathan's hockey team before
Nathan.
Matt and Chris.
Oh, wow, that's right.
And then I was friends with Nathan for like only 2 months before Matt and Chris were his friend.
right. You asked me to become friends with
Nathan's parents.
parents because you wanted to be friends with Nathan.
Yes.
yeah,
That's,
Nate's
like,
on
always
board
how
for
it
the
was.
duration.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Nate's the
And Nathan became friends with all three of you.
Yeah. I remember, I think I only went to Nathan's house once, and then I was sold, and I was like, Matt and Chris, you have to come with me next time. And then Matt
Yeah,
and
there
Chris
was
came
really no one friend that you kept all to yourself.
Yeah. Nobody.
And like birthday parties, right?
Yeah,
Nobody
I was
was
gonna
just
ask
going to
about
invite you.
Yeah, just
It was
used to
invite all
sharing.
three.
That's what they used to
Except
do.
for
They
some
just used to
Some
sharing.
people wanna just
Yeah. There was very, 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 very
Me and
few
Chris know
people.
one girl
Matt,
that
there
did.
was one girl that she invited just me to her birthday party, and then
Oh,
He's
yeah,
invited just
invited
Matt.
you.
Yeah, I was the only triplet that never got individually invited to a birthday
Yeah,
party.
you know what? That was an odd situation because
You
I
weren't
was sort of like,
No.
If
There
you're
was a
gonna invite
girl that
one of my
invited
friends.
just Nick to her party, and there was this dude that
Did you really want to go?
No, I didn't
So it
care.
didn't
But I
even-
just felt left.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, that was funny as
yeah,
shit.
that was kind. Well, you gotta keep in mind though, like say people had
Like
were
three of
doing-
us. Like they had a budget,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Oh, I'm close."
You're
to
on a
Moana."
budget, and you pick one, you're picking three.
Yeah.
It wasn't easy.
Yeah.
And like say they were doing a movie birthday party, and they were gonna just pick like 4 of your best friends.
Yeah.
If they pick 3 of you, you know,
Yeah.
you're all
like one of the craziest things to me was when like one of our friends when we were younger had a birthday party at like a concert, and it was literally, I remember she told her mom like it was an ultimatum of like, you can bring your cousins or the triplets because there's so many of both of them. So it was like, it's like such a
Right.
weird thing where it's like, since there was 3 of us to start, it was like a lot of people had to
Right,
pick
I could
between
see
like
that.
even like that's why we always like, and we always talk about the minivan.
What
like, how we
else
film
do you
videos
expect
in the
people
to do,
minivan.
though?
But it was like the minivan we've had forever, and it's like a staple and like it's like a family car. When
Right.
you have triplets, it's like if you were taking us somewhere after school and Dad was at work, and you were picking up me, Matt, and Chris, and say you had Justin, that's already 5 seats in the car.
yeah, but we
If
would throw kids on the floor and stuff.
I know we would just
I
have
mean,
people on
we
the
kind of
floor
broke
in the
it.
truck.
We'd be
illegal
like,
stuff.
come on.
Yeah. But it was like, I just think of
Yeah.
like if we wanted to hang out with a
like
friend
a
and like their
clown
mom,
car.
It was.
if someone's, and that's why I feel like we also, like you were so close to our friends growing up and like always doing stuff with us is because we couldn't go with other people's parents because they didn't have accommodations for
Right.
3 kids.
It
at
was
the exact
definitely
same
our
age.
van that we just loaded up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I have vivid memories.
So do
of-
I. I have memories of being in the trunk with some kid.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Me and him are sitting next, like across from each other, just talking the whole time. Everyone else is in the front of the car.
my
me and him are in
God.
the trunk.
We have to,
Trunks,
you have to
floors,
say that me, Matt, and
dashboards,
Chris,
everything.
me, Matt, and Chris were always the first 3 kids to sit in the illegal seat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah,
We made
'cause
sure
I would-
other people's kids were
Right.
seatbelted.
I did.
But, and it was like me, Matt, and Chris enjoyed it, and we were okay with it. It's something we had to do.
You just reminded me of one other situation that I kind of they had to make an exception for us. You know, parent teacher conferences, you're only supposed to have like 10 minutes per student
Yeah.
because the teacher. So I would get like
A half
hour and
Yeah.
I'd be like, ooh.
Yeah.
But that's because I'd be like, okay, let's talk about Chris. Okay, let's talk about Matt.
That was one of
All
my
right.
questions. Is like, was there a time in school where like you and Dad would get together and look at our report cards and be like, "Oh my God, like one of them's falling behind"? Like, did you ever have like a reaction to like negative report cards or like?
Surely.
how'd you even handle,
Every
having one
parent
of us
should.
fall behind in school or like a
If they're
negative
concerned.
experience in school.
They should.
We're just hoping to keep you afloat, like in school.
Yeah.
You know, because we kind of knew, like, you didn't like it, but it's like, you know, the speech,
Homework
do
was
the
a
best you
challenge.
can.
Yeah.
Like, and then,
I remember
Homework was, I
Yeah, homework.
probably
yeah.
got some early gray hairs from homework.
I know our
Agree.
life changed a lot when we started YouTube, but what changed for you guys since then? Like when we did YouTube, like our life obviously projected, took a crazy turn, but there's like everyone around us was also affected. So like what
Big
would
time.
you say?
The biggest fear was, where is this going? Mm-hmm. Is this going to last? Are they going to be disappointed? For me, I'm speaking for me.
No, at the very beginning, it
Yeah.
was kind of like
Yeah.
I
Like
didn't-
it seemed unbelievable.
like a pipe dream.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
It's
was like, all right.
it's a phase or whatever. And then when you started, no, really, when you
yeah.
started getting like, you guys never blinked, like never wavered from it, and you just
No.
kept going. And I'm like, wow. And then when you were like kind of getting what you wanted out of it, and it was like, holy shit!
Yeah.
Like we couldn't believe like you know, and the big thing when you reached 10,000, how much that was a big thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you blinked your eye and it was like 100,000
Yeah.
and then 1,000,000 and then now
Million.
it's like over 6 million, and it's
In
like,
my
it
dreams.
really is kind of crazy when you think about it. It's a little
Yeah.
surreal.
But they have
like,
worked hard for it.
if
I will
you
say that
grew
they
up
have.
with the way
You
Mom,
can't say they
like,
haven't
was
because they
talking
have.
about earlier, when you grow up with a good sense of like values, like we were just talking about, then you guys are handling it. A lot of
Yeah.
kids your age, they would have pissed through their money already.
Yeah.
So
Or started
true.
doing
So
drugs or
Whatever.
true.
Yeah, you guys don't drink. You don't do.
Yeah, we
drugs.
just hide that shit
Hopefully
from
it's-
y'all.
I think it changed for us because all of a sudden, I mean, we were used to people being like, "Oh, you got triplets,"
Yeah.
you know, but a lot of people all of a sudden, how do I put this? Like all of a sudden they were like,
People wanted more from all of us.
right, and I'd be like, they're still the same kids,
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
That's another
and
thing.
and that's another thing too. Like, it still freaks me out, like being at your show and seeing fans like scream about you guys, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's like,
what are they
wow.
screaming about?
See, I don't
Wow.
think. I don't
I'm always
think.
like, I'm also like, what
Yeah.
the fuck are these?
I think a lot of people don't really realize, like, you guys do have a lot of fun doing it, but they don't realize the work, like how hard and how
Yeah.
hard you guys work at it.
Yeah.
And that's pretty impressive. Like, it seems
You don't just see
on the
every-
surface like it's all fun and games. Oh, they
You
have
don't
them.
see what happens behind the scenes. A lot of work goes in behind the scenes. You like it's all good for like audience, like people just seeing the videos that you make and all that you put out. But half of the audience, like my audience, I don't know how much you understand about everything that goes on here, how much you don't do, whatever. But a lot of work goes in behind the scenes on anyone you can go to in YouTube are working their fucking butts off behind the scenes. If they're doing it properly, they're working their asses off behind the scenes. You know when someone's slacking because they're not working hard behind the scenes. Most of this stuff takes place in the post-editing process. That's where it all goes. You have to put so much work into it. It's unreal. It's so unreal.
Blast, but it's like you guys are like busy like every day
Yeah.
doing something. It's
Yeah.
pretty impressive. Like,
But I also just think of like
just not a 9 to 5 job. It's
know.
like it could be like 3 o'clock in the morning. Oh, let's do a podcast. Oh, let's do a
Yeah, yeah,
It's
you work for
really
yourself, you make your own
changed how We
times.
live life like when we've come to California.
You don't need
a few
people-
times.
Yeah.
It's
You
nice
don't
to
need
go
a
on trips
boss.
to California.
You
and
are
have
your
your
boss.
kids pay for it. It's nice to have a
Yeah, because
home.
I'd never be out here.
Yeah, we'd be still back where we are, but
I mean,
you know,
it's 35 degrees right now.
it's nice to know that like if we really were like, hey, listen, you know, I want to go on a trip, let's do it, and you guys would take
Yep.
care of it.
yeah.
I don't take that for granted. We don't take.
I would
that
love
for
to be able to
granted,
do
but,
that for
like,
my parents.
Dad and I are still like my proudest moment last night was when you said you had a Ralph's card for the grocery store, and I was like, yes, he's still using discount cards. I love it. Like,
Because even
You
I just
should.
think of like our entire life, you've always like helped us put into perspective what we had and always give back and be kind to people.
Right.
So it's just always is mind blowing to me when like filming videos and like having all these people subscribe to our account. It's like we're not doing anything out of the ordinary, and yet I feel like we're still doing like what you've taught us, like give back and be kind to people, because all of our videos is essentially for people to watch. Like
Right.
it's pointless to create videos if we're not gonna have people that care about it and watch it. And that's the thing is like there are so many people that like we've created a community of like I don't like to say give back and be kind because I feel like we would do it regardless. But for them, it's like our fans really enjoy the videos that we make, and like it puts into perspective of like
I enjoy them
how
immensely.
many people care about what we do, or how many people are like it's just mind blowing.
well, you're making a message too, you know, and you know, as a mom, as a parent, my proudest moments are that my kids are making a difference in the world, and
Well, you're making people happy.
you're making
you know?
people happy. I wish we could answer every single fan letter.
I know,
wish
yeah.
we could.
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
Mom's thing. Like every single
Every
fan
single
letter,
person
Mom
matters.
Well,
was
tell them
inspired.
about how we haven't gotten rid of any bit of fan mail, and
Oh,
it's
it's
all in
all-
your list.
No, I actually just went out after the last tour and bought more Rubbermaid totes, and like we.
What did I do when you guys came
Yeah.
home?
we
What did I do?
organized
It's
everything?
all of our tour fan mail.
Every
Everything.
bracelet is color coded
Even
in a
people who
separate
find our
bag.
address and
Wow.
send stuff to the house.
Yeah, and I
like,
want
which
to
is
add,
kind of
like,
scary and
sometimes I'll
creepy
say
and
to
hard,
you,
but-
you guys should really answer this person. They seem really like, but I get it.
Yeah,
I
we
get that
it.
it's
It
too
could
much.
Open up a
Yeah.
It
so-
could be some psycho.
Exactly.
It could.
You have to be
And
very,
there are a
very
lot of
careful.
people
It's
who
just,
don't
it's
know
just
boundaries.
not worth the risk.
Exactly.
sometimes.
Yeah.
And people just get too excited if like a famous person.
It's also like where
Does something.
the one thing that is scary about stuff is like I've had like even like some little girl like makes a TikTok and she's like, I'm going to your Orlando show and I'm wearing my white shoes, so I want you to wear your white shoes too. And then like I was like, oh, like
That's a bit weird.
turn your
That's
duets
a
on,
bit
'cause I was
weird.
gonna like reply to the video and be like, oh yeah, I'll wear my white shoes. But then like other jealous people know that I want to respond to her video, so then her video gets taken down. So then it's like,
it's
I
like
wore my white shoes anyway, hoping
Like
that
a
she was still
12-year-old
going.
girl at like literally going to one of our shows, like, Matt, wear your shoes, and he literally like comments like, I'll wear my shoes, like no problem,
And they report her
get
and get her
jealous
deleted
and,
off
like,
the app.
shut
Yeah, the
So
world
it's like-
of social media has a lot of pluses, but it definitely, and
Yeah.
this is Dad and I are learning more about this social media thing. You know, people really should remember to keep
Don't
it
say
safe.
on the internet what you wouldn't say in person. Is
Exactly.
Right. Don't
And
hide
if someone
behind
comes
the
out with some
internet.
bogus claim about you guys, it makes me like furious that I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
you have no idea what my kids like. They would never do that or whatever.
But even
It's
like
just, fuck.
fake things, like when I remember literally when what's it called? Like when people go up to you guys and tell you things about us that are not true.
Oh
You know
yeah,
what
I
mean?
know what you're
We
thinking
can't even
about.
say it because Lorraine would laugh.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
one of our friends, Lorraine, that films YouTube videos,
Yeah.
we made a video with, and we posted one video together.
Yeah, that was
And
crazy.
my mom went on a trip, and someone went up to her and was like, "Oh, you know, your son Nick is dating Lorraine."
Yeah.
And my mom goes, "Who is that?" And no, he's not. And then so my
said,
mom
"No,
called.
he's not."
I would told my mom like, "No, me and
She would
Lorraine are
know.
friends. We're just both gay people, and people love
Right.
to immediately."
Assume.
It is hard. People forget that you're real. You have real lives. You have, you know,
Especially
real
with Nick.
feelings.
Come on.
It's not all,
Yeah.
you know.
It's like that saying, "Don't ever forget where you came from." Like it's like no.
But it's also,
Yeah, no
I
shit.
also hate
Literally
complaining
no
'cause There's
shit.
so many positive things out there of like, think of like we have 5.5 million subscribers of people that just want to watch our videos and enjoy them and have positive reactions to it and enjoy our videos. But then it's like it is easy to allow the very few people that do something negative. It's really easy to let the few of the 5.5 million people saying something negative to get to you. But then it like you have to just put into perspective of how many people are actually like saying something crazy or doing something obnoxious versus the 5.5 people
Right,
that are
that
just
aren't.
enjoying
Exactly.
your videos and happy
Right.
for you. And
I,
it's like
this-
it's easy to complain in this position of like when people are talking shit about you on the internet, but I don't like to because there's so many positive things out there as well.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
the same way you would never write like a positive review of a restaurant. You know what I mean? Like most people,
Well, I would.
when they go to a restaurant, when they go to a restaurant and something goes wrong, they'll go on their fucking phone and be like,
Right,
"Oh, this
complain.
meal was
They'll
terrible," complain.
concentrate
It's like,
more on the negative
Yeah.
thing
So
than
true.
all the other happy things.
yeah,
that are
it's
going
easier
on.
to complain than it is to
Right.
be happy about shit.
I
but
think you guys have a
why.
great opportunity here to send out good messages, and I think you're doing it. You know, I think in a world where a lot of people are negative, a lot of people are complaining, a lot of people are feeling very like entitled, I think the opportunity to spread love and kindness is there. You're doing it. What more could we ask for? You got to keep safe, and you guys have taught me that because I would just talk to everyone.
Yeah, you can't.
But I mean, definitely,
You can't talk to everyone.
you know, for people who try to reach me and tell me how wonderful my sons are, I get it. I appreciate you, but I can't write
Exactly.
you back. I can't
Yeah.
reach out. I can't respond because it would just get crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And when it comes down to it, you're just three young men doing the best you can, living your life, following your dreams, and you just happen to make a lot of people happy.
yeah.
Amen.
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 It's amen to
I
that.
have a
I'm not
question
religious,
now.
but I'll say it.
So we're running out of time.
No, we can figure it out.
Out of
But
respect,
this
I'll
question,
say
I'm just
it.
curious to hear your answer because when before we did YouTube, we would always go to you guys and tell you like, oh, this is my favorite person, this is my favorite artist, this is my favorite whatever of this. So it's like, what has happened to us career-wise, or what has happened to us in the world that just shocks you the most out of anything?
That you have tours and people buy tickets to
Yeah,
see you.
yeah,
Crazy.
yeah,
Absolute crazy.
yeah.
It's hard to
I
understand.
remember the first tour show, the next to last,
The New York
New
one?
York. It was just walking in there and seeing all the people, and just like they're all here for our boys, and it was just like crazy to
Yeah.
us.
Well,
that it
Times
was-
Square too. The billboard
Yeah,
that
Times
really
Square,
solidified
yeah.
it for me.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I just was like,
You must
I was
feel
even
out of
thinking
this
you were gonna say
world.
something about
Like the
Chrissy in
feeling must
Skies,
feel
'cause
so
of how
weird.
often he used to tell
oh, that.
Well,
we
yeah,
could
I
do.
just-
Well, there's a lot. But
Yeah.
the
There's a
ones
lot.
that stick out, like the billboard in our hometown, like the three of you guys are up on this billboard at the gas station. We're like,
down the street from your elementary school.
I went in there Cumberland Farms one day, and there's the girl I knew for a long time buying my coffee, and I'm just like, those are my kids. Out of the below, I'm like, do you know those are my kids? And they're like, no way.
I mean, you meeting little skies. Remember when
Yeah.
I found out you did? I
Yeah.
just started crying.
Yeah.
Because
That was a good phone
I was on a
call. That was
vacation. I saw it before you told me,
Yeah.
and my friend that I was with, I was like, "You don't understand."
Yeah.
Chris has been talking about this crazy tattooed rapper for years, and he met him, and he went on stage with them, and I just can't believe it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. And it was at Summer Smash, which was like a lyrical lemonade festival.
I was just
it was
so
just, like,
happy
being
for you.
home pal. Yeah.
And now when you say like you hang with them and I see pictures, I just love it, you
Yeah.
know? And I mean, you guys are going to make dreams come true.
Yeah.
And you're doing
And
it every
another
day.
impressive thing, my shout out to my boy Matt, is with his social anxiety issues he's had, to see him up on stage with like
Yeah.
1,000 screaming
even-
girls.
See,
and
now
I'm like,
I understand him talking about social anxiety. There, I have it myself. I get very bad outside. Like I have to be like headphones, everything. I have to be on my own. If I even come across someone like male or female, I get anxious. Like I start like panicking and shit. Especially if I don't know them. Just anywhere in general that happens as well. So I understand what he's talking about here as well, because it's a big thing for someone with social anxiety to go up on a stage and just do some random shit, you know. So big props to Matt there. He's literally, I didn't even know that, and he just told me that. I think that I'm actually quite happy that I know that, because I have a bit more respect for Matt for doing what he done there, for getting on the stage with social anxiety.
holy like Matt,
Yeah.
like someone would say social anxiety standing up on stage, but it takes quite a bit.
Yeah,
of
Yeah.
it takes
But
a
yeah,
lot.
that's crazy. I don't believe that about me either sometimes, because I'm
Yeah.
just like, I'm not doing
It's.
it.
I feel like me, Matt, and Chris
I feel
need
like
like
You're
alter.
having an out of
Me, Matt, and Chris
experience.
need like alter ego names for the people that go on stage, because it's not us.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like we
It's
need like
it's like when I'm meeting the people, it's easy
It's
because it's
Chester,
like
Mester, and Tester.
it's
No,
it's
literally.
easier because there's like
really
there's
is.
the
Well, Larry and Curly.
there's like the line of people and then there's like the curtains and stuff like that. So it's like when I'm meeting the fans like one-on-one and meet and greets or like taking one photo at a time, it's like, yes, I like hear all of them behind the backdrop and stuff like that, but it's easier because I'm focusing
On the one person, yeah.
at a time. You know what I mean?
Right.
But then when I'm on the stage,
that stuff always drives.
and then it's also like, it's crazy being on the stage too.
I'll tell you in a second.
It's also crazy like being on the stage too, where it's like I don't know, it's very strange.
What's the hardest part of the tour for you, anxiety?
the initial walkout onto
Always
the
the most difficult
and
part.
then
Really?
feeling,
I
it's
understand.
also-
What,
it's
yeah,
also like
I totally
being, like,
It is
understand
kind of
that.
crazy because when we walked out on stage prior to when you guys walked out,
To watch
and
us,
everyone was
yeah.
like screaming. And
Oh, I love that shit.
I know you do. Yeah.
I'm like, woo!
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I was gonna
You're
start
crazy.
rapping, but I yeah,
yeah, leave it a Trill.
I'll leave that. I'll leave that to Trill.
For sure.
Trill.
Plus, I'd probably sprain my ankle.
But like, it's definitely the initial walkout for sure.
Yeah.
But it's crazy.
The hardest part for me on tour is definitely like just maintaining like a bubbly, like can do attitude.
Oh, for
'Cause
sure.
by like the 400th person, like I am happy to
You
be
ready
there
for a
and I'm having
shower.
fun. I am ready for a shower and I'm tired.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like sweaty and hot and like the venues always get super like loud.
Might want to
And, like,
rethink
I
those UGG shoes I got on right now.
No,
Yeah.
literally. That's how.
And it's like even like doing like the meet and greet photos, like doing 200
He's so funny.
before.
His little
going on
one-liners
stage
he comes
and
up
200
with.
after on stage. It's like after the whole like the off stage, like after you get off stage and you're doing the 200 after the show. It's like I'm more tired, but
Oh, yeah.
I want to give the same experience to the people
to everybody.
Right.
after because
And
they're
it's
paying
also
the same
like, it's
amount.
also
of money.
even
So
like
it's
being alert. But no, what I was gonna say to you, Mom, what I don't like is when we're meeting someone and someone else who's like in line or like tries to take their moment because
Oh,
when like
yeah.
someone's
Don't do
coming
that.
up and like hugging us and then like we take the photo, like that's who my focus is on because I don't want to like ruin.
Gotta
their
make it
experience.
special for
That's really
Like I
everyone.
said, you guys have a lot of people on the tour help that. There's so
Yes.
many people that helped you guys out that are like so cool that we got to meet and it's
Yeah.
like
Our tour team's
really like
amazing.
our tour team.
I'll
You-
never tour
you
without
guys
that tour team,
landed
for sure.
Really good.
good
you know?
people, a lot
With
of good people.
You surround
and a
yourself
lot goes into it.
by a
that
good
people
team.
Don't realize
Yeah.
how much.
Yeah, I think we can finalize by saying that we're in a comfortable position. We have great friends and great family, and I feel happy with where we're at right now.
I agree.
Me too.
To be continued.
I'm just really grateful that you have asked us here, that you still want to hear what we have to say and
Yeah.
even
Oh,
care,
Everyone does.
and that you want to hang with us.
All right, that's enough. Get up. Let's go.
Bye. Cut.
So great.
Yay.
Bye, everyone.
Well, that's the end of today's episode. I'm going to say it. It is one of my most favourite episodes that I've reacted to this date on the podcast thing. If you want me to react to the other podcasts in the list, the other episodes, please let me know in the comments below. You probably do, but until I get comments saying which ones you'd like me to react to, I will not be doing them. Literally, I'm going to say it again, my favourite episode to date. Mama Bear has made her presence felt again, and it's my first time experience with the dad. I don't have a nickname for him yet, but I do love his energy. These are two parents that I do love. They remind me of my parents so much. They've raised 3 triplets that are so, like, what's the word for it? I don't know the word. It's like they know what they want. They're trying to do everything they can. Persistent. I'm gonna go with the word persistent. It's the word I've got in my head. They are very persistent. That's the perfect word. It's a perfect word for these triplets. Matt, Nick, and Chris. If I've got that wrong, please let me know. But I think I've got that right. For once I've got it, I think I've got it right. Another car video will be on its way. I'm probably going to react to the most recent one next week. But the next video that will be coming up will be my gaming video. Again, State of Decay is coming up. If you're not a subscriber, please smash the subscribe button as well. The notification bell to be notified when I upload such as these ones and my gaming videos at the weekend. Patreon is in the link in the description below. No link is the name of the page itself. All my socials are in there for any updates on any future videos coming out. Also, anything that I'm planning to do will also be up there soon. But yeah, please let me know in the comments your thoughts on today's video. You know my thoughts. I didn't talk that much. I wanted to let them talk. I wanted to hear everything they had to say. So much good stuff came out of today's video. It sort of brightened my mood. I started off today with a bit angry, but because I've watched this, I feel more happy. I feel a bit more opened up a bit. The way that they've just the way they are around their parents is completely different to what they do on a normal basis on camera, as you can see. Which is why I love these types of videos, because it shows who they really are. But yeah, please smash the like button. Let me know in the comments what videos you'd like me to react to in the future. Stonio triplet videos, anything brand new. Always on the look for new content. And I will see you in my next video. Good. Bye.